Hello. Ah, what a busy day. Oh my goodness. Let me quickly set up my other device here so that I can see you better. Hey, hey, hey. Now I officially am missing for the first time the last couple of minutes of a Daniel Evans live. How could that happen? And why the heck is my own stream not starting on my other phone here? That is absolutely weird, but hello everyone. If you are back, then nice to see you here again. If this is your first stream here on this channel today, then welcome. I spontaneously decided to do this here because I thought, yeah, why not? We are back, but you should listen to your 2 more songs. Yeah, that was now. I thought if I do like half an hour later, then I would probably get so tired, you know, that I couldn't do this anymore. So yeah, this schedule today is a little bit tough, but we will do this. I think I will quickly cut out some more of the die cuts while we are waiting for some more people to join, and that gives me the chance to have more of these little things and also to say hello to all of you. I'm really happy you are here. First ever live stream with you. Hello and yeah. Crafts by Kelly and Robin. Thank you so much. Nice to see you here today. Where's my machine? I'm completely confused now because, to be honest, I think I'm a little bit too relaxed now. I have been here earlier already for some questions and answers for my new paper collection, Messy Catmas, and then I had to leave. Originally I thought it wouldn't take me so long, but then I had to leave to watch Daniel Evans on TikTok. I mean, I can't miss that, obviously. And I spontaneously decided to come back later, and now is later, you know. Junk journal medicine, oh my goodness. I didn't even had the chance to make a new tea or something. This is the rest from, you know, the other stream. Already cold. So perhaps you want to make some clusters with me today. If yes, you could take out some things like leftover papers and so on. I want to use some leftovers from my journal making process because I think that is always a great thing to, you know, making clusters is always a great thing to use up those leftovers. But I realized that I like these die cuts here so much that I want to have more on here. So I will quickly cut some out. So that also gives me the chance to concentrate on your messages and, you know, read everything. So if you have any questions, no matter if related to the new paper collection I have shown you in my paper premiere yesterday, or, you know, whatever you want to know, this is your chance to ask. I decided relatively spontaneously to do this here today because of some questions I got about the Backstage pass. I've shown you yesterday the Messy Catmas Junk Journal series, or yeah, like a little, it's like a little class, or well, it's 14 videos. It's not a little class, but it's a class which you can get on HEINZL TV. And that was a pretty spontaneous decision to do this here because I couldn't see coming, obviously, that there would be so many questions and other things to talk about. and that's the reason why I'm here. And originally I said I want to make some clusters while answering those questions. I'm just explaining what happened in the other stream I did, a few hours ago. And then I felt so bad because I couldn't find the time to make the clusters in the other stream. And I decided to do a second part where we now finally make those clusters, if that makes sense. I want to watch you make them. It's so cold here, I just want to stay on my couch with all my warm fuzzy blankets. Yeah, that's a good plan. Marian ist auch wieder da, das freut mich sehr. Oh, and we could even use these, can't we? It's really it seems to be relatively cold everywhere. I already met some people, online today who said, oh, it's so cold, it's so cold. We had some problems here as well. Yesterday, our the heater in the complete house was broken. I was running around here with a couple of layers of clothes because it was so cold. But today there was the man who he came and the man who wanted to repair that came and he repaired it. I'm so glad. Oh, thank you so much. The comment says, loved your makes that we saw on the Stampers Anonymous live yesterday. Thank you so much. That was really, really an inspiring live, wasn't it? I mean, let me use this chance. I mean, why are we here? Let me take this chance to say something about Stampers Anonymous. When I saw the live stream on Sunday, that was not on Sunday, it was on Saturday. I'm so sorry. Doesn't matter. The Christmas Creations live stream. I was already obviously expecting that they would say my name and something about the song I have sent to them, a song I made together with Daniel. And obviously I expected that they would say something, but when I saw that, I was sitting there and I was crying the whole time because that was just so extremely cute. And there came something to my mind, and I feel the need to say that originally I thought I wanted to make like a little reel or a story on Instagram or so, but let me say it here because then perhaps more people will even see it. If you want to meet a really, really amazing brand which cares about the people, choose Stampers Anonymous. I have never in my whole life, and I have collaborated with many brands in the meantime, bigger brands, smaller brands, I have never experienced such a support like from them. And I don't only talk about products they send to me and I make the makes and then send them to you. Obviously, that is already pretty amazing. And then they are really, really generous with the things they send to us. But I'm talking about something else as well. I'm talking about that you are not only a number there. And they are so amazing. They care about each and every one. They also listen to your problems if you have problems. I can't go into too much detail, yeah, because that would be confidential. But I had some things where I requested something which was my own problem, and they were so supportive, and they said, yeah, we understand that, and here's the solution. Within a couple of hours, even that is not true, within an hour or so, yeah, that is just so crazy. So if you want to support a brand, because you like stamps, buy the stamps at Stampers Anonymous. I can't say it in a different way because it's just so crazily outstanding. I don't want to sound weird here, but I want that you understand that they are more than a brand to me. It's more like a really big family, and they care so much about the people. I find that absolutely fascinating. So if anyone from Stampers Anonymous is watching, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It's really amazing what you are doing. Where is my clock? Oh my goodness, I'm old. If this thing falls to the floor, then I realize how old I really am. So that was my little love story to Stampers Anonymous. Oh, Mary, I am very glad that you liked the song. It was, yeah, it was so cool because, you know, I thought about that, and this line, I'm a Stampers Anonymous, came to my mind, and then I couldn't let it go anymore. And perhaps you know, I made this first version a couple of months back with AI, where I couldn't even see coming that I would meet Daniel and that he would say yes to my question if he could perhaps sing that. And having that now in this new version sung by him, it's just absolutely so freaking cool. And it's also, you know, that the song finally came to life because he sings it. And that was something really important to me, because, you know, when we talk about something which is what I just said, a brand which is more than a brand, then a song should be more than what it was. And, you know, when I heard Daniel's version for the first time, I was like, oh my goodness, now those lyrics I wrote are living suddenly, and that was just so crazy. So yeah, what are we going to do here today? We are going to make some clusters. I would just repeat that for the people who just popped in. And for those, I want to use the leftovers I have from my Messy Catmas journal. It's basically this stuff here. I have some more there, and also I have this little thing here where I have all of the leftover layers from the flowers and so on. And if you're not familiar with the journal, I'm talking about this journal here. And you can also find my paper premiere as a replay on my channel, where I show you this journal in detail, and where I also talk about what's available in my shop regarding this journal. There's a paper collection which is called a Messy Catmas junk journal kit. Yeah, so it's a junk journal kit with pages and ephemera like pockets, tags, belly bands, and so on. And there's also something which is brand new, and that's the Messy Catmas Backstage Pass. If you want to know more about this, please watch the first part of this live stream. It's already there for you to watch again. So you, how do you say that? Watch on replay. There I explain everything about this and what you can get with this. This is a whole junk journal series about making this journal. So if you want to make this journal with me, with your own materials, with your own ideas, and so on, step by step from scratch, then that could probably be your thing. The links to those things are down below in the description box. What are these clusters themed as, or your ideas about these clusters? Yeah, so the main idea is to use the scraps up. So I have called the video Messy Catmas Clusters. Until now, there are no cats involved because I don't have leftovers from the printable, but we could obviously also add some focal points later if you want. Just, you know, let me know. So what I have here in the journal, you can see here, for example, here are these layers, layered flowers, and I have some of these layers left, some of this paper here, for example. So for example, for the pages I made here, and you know, we cut some things and so on. There are some things left. Also this year I did some mark making here and made my own designs on some papers. there's some pieces left, and the idea is to make clusters from those so that I later on have matching pieces to decorate the journal even further, if that makes sense. Okay, now I missed a lot of messages. Many greetings to Greece. Yeah, those I find those die cut leftovers, Connie, that is a really cool thing to include, because then we have a little bit more of a solid thing here. Why am I so far away? The problem is I think I can't zoom in. Can I zoom in? I can zoom in. Oh my goodness. That that was not possible before I started the live stream. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I just found that out. I'm still pretty new to live streaming here on YouTube. That is a little bit embarrassing, but it is what it is. Die cuts. I find it really interesting that we can use those leftovers, because then we have some solid pieces and some, you know, well, solid. Do you know what I mean? These are, depending on how far we tear around here, relatively solid here, and they have this interesting edge. I find that really cool. What kind of paper material are you using for these clusters? Everything I have left over here. So for example, this is some watercolor paper where I stamped something on, then this is sprayed. I mean, before I stamped on. This is some fabric, corrugated cardboard. This where I've cut the die cuts, using to cut the, you know, the pieces. This is watercolor paper. This is just some craft paper. This is matte photo paper with coffee, you know, just coffee dyed, and also a spray on here. This black and white thing you just can't see anymore because it's out of frame now. This was a napkin originally, and I've taken the top layer and then made that into some kind of rice paper with the help of some glue. So basically everything I have left over here. So you could also include some fabric pieces. Mary says, your art is special. Not only does it make our eyes happy, it also has beautiful sounds to make the ears happy. Oh, I want to take a screenshot of that. That's very cute. Thank you so much. I love the way that furry stuff looks. I can imagine how amazing it feels. I'd pet and groom that journal every day. That is really a problem because you constantly want to do this. It's just so fluffy. It feels really like, yeah, a cat with curls somehow. But if you want to make such a journal and you want to include that much fluff, you also need to be aware that if a little bit of that fluff is like everywhere, yeah, like you would if you would have a cat, because it's just flying around. I mean, until you are finished, yeah. I mean, only while you are working with the materials. Obviously, later on, everything is in its place. But my carpet in the bedroom over there looks really wild, because there's also my sewing machine, and when I've sewn those pieces to the edges of my pages, it was really a little bit chaotic, because everything was on the floor, and then all of these little fibers have been on the floor, and they, to be honest, are still there because I couldn't find the time to clean that carpet. One page with cat with some fuzzy on it. Wonder what it is. Mary, I think you are talking about, I think I have two in here. That cat with the fluff, that was also a really wonderful like coincidence in while I was recording the series for the Backstage Pass. Wait, give me a second. Where is that? I did that on this little banner here. I think you mean this. This is just also some of this material. Here, these colors are here because I've dyed this material, but the original condition of this material was like this, and also this, you know, this light. And I thought it looks really, really cute if we could make something like this. The whole time I was thinking how I could do that. Perhaps you remember my Come On Chameleon journal. There I made the chameleons with some embossing powders and, you know, different, yeah, basically embossing powders. And I tried to get them really like touchable. And the whole time I was thinking, how the heck can I do that with the cats too? Because cats are fluffy, and if I would put embossing powder on them, they would probably not turn out fluffy. And then suddenly, within the, you know, my real process, which I was recording there, it happened that I found the idea to do that, and I'm really happy about that because that is a really genius idea, I would think. Don't want to sound arrogant, but I really like how that turned out. So these are for your stash and to have on hand for future stuff. That depends a little bit. I don't know yet, to be honest, if they will all go into the journal. I'm sure I will at least put one or two into the journal because, you know, why do I make them here? But that also depends also a little bit on the other things I still want to do in the journal. So there will come some videos in the next couple of weeks where I show you what you can do with a finished journal. So a journal in the condition the journal has, I have just shown you, because that was a massive question. You've asked, what could we do once we have finished such a journal? Also, especially for the new people in our wonderful community. For those of you who perhaps are just making their first journals or trying to understand what junk journaling is and why we do that, like we do it, those, I mean, not only those people have those questions, but mainly those, I would think, where you ask, what the heck shall I do with such a journal? What is the sense of making such a journal, and what do we do with it once it's finished? And because of that question, I thought this is the perfect chance to give some examples and some ideas on what you could do if you have a journal which is, you know, bound and everything is ready. Because that's not the end of the day, I would think. You can still, and I find that also important that you find things you can then create in the journal and not only, you know, making the journal itself. I don't say that that is a bad thing. That is fun as well, obviously. But when I make a journal, I also want to work in the journal. Otherwise, you know, why did I make the journal and why is here a hair? So that means I will probably put one or two later in the journal, keep the rest then, you know, on the side here, and then I can later on decide if I want to put the rest also in the journal because there's still space, or if there is no space left, then I will probably throw them into my stash and have something at hand for future projects. I hope that answers your question. Is that wool? Dory, I don't know exactly how this is called. I can try to show it again a little closer. Wait, I will quickly grab the original thing. So here I'm back. So originally, this stuff looked like this. Perhaps you can see it even a little better when it's not stained yet. And then I have thrown some alcohol ink on it after finding out that I'm a little bit stupid because I first tried it with other mediums, and then, you know, I realized that this is really, you know, a little bit like plastic somehow, even if it's really fluffy and really soft, but the material itself can't handle spray stain or oxide spray. I needed to do this with alcohol ink because the other mediums just didn't want to dry on this. And I found, I think I found this on Amazon by coincidence. I've typed in eyelash trim, I guess, and then I found this because, you know, Amazon then shows also other things than only what you typed in. Die Chamäleons sind wirklich speziell und werden von mir und allen, die sie bisher anfassen durften, sehr geliebt. Oh, wie süß. Das ist voll süß. Oh my goodness. I would definitely write in that journal and enjoy petting it and just admire it. What a work of art. Thank you so much. Yeah, but I think that is a topic. Let me quickly read the other things. I'm working on the silly people from last month, people with butterflies, etc. It's fun. Thank you for showing me how to make them. Yeah, you're very welcome, Mary. It reminds me of eyelash fringe. Yeah, I think there are many different words you could try on Amazon to find something like that. I think we have to, you know, look a little bit around if we try to find those things, because I also have the feeling that, not the feeling, it's a fact. The items on Amazon America are obviously way different than on Amazon Germany, and sometimes I have problems to link those things. And when I say I got that on Amazon, sometimes it's a problem because you perhaps can't find it because, you know, the items in on Amazon overseas are a little bit different than here. I thought that making the journal is like making a creative base or foundation, and then you can get even more creative in the book and finish it to be a whole art piece. I agree 100%, Verena. Because yeah, this it's irgendwie, that is German. I'm so sorry. It's somehow a little bit weird because when I made the journal, and that was a little different for me this time because I at the same time recorded the junk journal class, the backstage pass for HEINZL TV, and with that, obviously I had some additional things in mind. I don't want to say that I don't have additional things in mind when I record normal YouTube, my regular YouTube videos, but it's a different thing because I was really talking to you even more than with my other videos. That sounds a little bit weird, but I had that feeling somehow when I was working on that series. And while I was doing that, I also got some thoughts and I made some conclusions. Because even if I was pretty convinced about what I will say in the next seconds in the past, I'm now even more convinced after making this series. Because there are so many people who say, yeah, I can't do it like you do it, and that looks somehow like a piece of art. I wish I could do that as well. And do you know what? I'm so convinced that you can do these things as well. And it's really important to me that you understand that I also only work with paper and I only cook with water. And in my eyes, all of these things where you say that looks cool, or I also want to do that and I want to learn that, all those things you can learn, and I'm also convinced that you can learn that in a relatively short amount of time. And with recording that series, that came to my mind again, even more clear somehow. And I also tried to really include things which can help you to overcome this, somehow fear, or what is that? I mean, that is a thing where I asked myself during recording that series, why are they so afraid about these things? I mean, I get it. When you buy something which was a little bit more expensive or so, I heard about the people in Australia, for example, where mediums and stuff. The person I'm thinking about was talking about Tim Holtz mediums, and they are obviously pretty expensive there. And I totally get when you buy something and you think, ah, I can't use it because what if I ruin it, and so on. But I think at that point, where you think that those materials are really just materials, and paper is at that point just paper. It's not a piece of art yet. It's not something where your emotions are connected to yet. And I think we should get that into our brain a little bit more and bring that to our own attention a little bit more. What is my phone doing here now? Could you please just show me the chat? Thank you so much. Mariah, thank you so much. You have just written, you have put so much work into HEINZL TV. Yes, I did. And to be honest, I know why I did that. You are so appreciative. Oh my goodness, that is a hard word for me. Not because of the word, but because of the pronunciation. It's just amazing. The messages I got within the last couple of hours are just incredible. Your feedback is just so amazing, and I've also gotten already some really amazing feedback about the watercolor stamping hacks we did earlier in the year on HEINZL TV, and there have been so many people, and that amazes me really much, and that makes me absolutely proud that so many of you wrote, I got the tickets on HEINZL TV, and then I was sitting there. Some of you even wrote that you have been a little bit like skeptical in the beginning, but then you follow the instructions I've given there, and then that's always so cute. Then you said, look what I made with your instructions and with those tutorials and those videos, and that makes me so happy and so proud. You can't even imagine what you said there when you have given me that feedback, because that is just amazing. And that is what I was trying to say earlier. I'm only cooking with water. Sometimes it's just this little kind of guide you need to find out how to do the things. And I'm not talking about gluing some pieces together here. I'm talking about, some techniques and a little bit kind of deeper stuff. Polyester does not take dye well. Yeah, that is true. And I had a little brain fart when I tried that, but that is also something. Trial and error, I think that is a really important thing when it comes to junk journaling. I found very similar in a thrift shop and discovered it was a beautiful yarn from Italy. Oh, I know there's polyester yarns like this too. That is a really great tip. I have wool. Why are these comments so small? Yeah, exactly, Verena. And you want to do something and buy things while a lot of things already sit around just waiting for you to use it. You just wrote. That is exactly it. That is exactly it. And there have been a few people who asked me when I was showing you this year in the paper premiere and, also on my website and social media and so on. You've asked me, what do I need if I want to join the series, and if I want to, if I buy this Backstage pass, what do I then need to gather, supply-wise? And it's really important to me that you understand that you can create a journal from scratch, like I've shown you, with your own materials. You don't necessarily need exactly what I used there. And that is a really important thing to me that you understand that you can use what you already have. For that series, I have a supply list, but that is like a suggestion. I wanted that you can exactly see what I have used, and that you can also, if you want, buy that. Yeah, so if you, for example, think, oh, I like these numbers, I like did I link this thing here? I need to remember myself to check that if I have not forgotten that. But I wanted to have everything linked there for you, but more in the sense of like a little service or so from me to you, so that you don't have to search. Because, you know, when we are working on a junk journal, we want to do everything else, but not searching for the name of a stamp set, not searching for the name or the number of a stencil. So I thought it could be helpful to have a list there about those things I have used, but that doesn't mean that you need those things for creating your own journal. Yeah, you could even, I would think you could even join the Messy Catmas series with a whole different paper collection. You could make this journal also with other papers. I'm convinced that that is possible, because the steps I'm showing there and the way we are doing it is so versatile that you can do that with, like, yeah, any kind of theme, any kind of journal, any kind of color combination, or whatever you like. And you could go that way. I'm showing you there also with other journals and with, you know, future journals which might have a different theme. So let me quickly read what I missed here. Oh, we can be, why can't I read? We can be so hard on ourselves, but I've seen my journal and art grow so much since I found your channel. That is incredibly kind. Thank you so much. I just gotta give it a shot, and if you don't like it, start over. Yeah, exactly. Everything can be reused. I very seldom throw anything away. Yeah, Dory, that is also somehow my, you know, a caption over my junk journal life. Or can I say that? If we, this is the perfect example, if we have things left over, or if there's a fail, something which happened on the desk where we said, okay, that is not what I wanted to have here, save those pieces, cut them up, make something from them for later. For example, I made these tags in the series, and they are not in the journal yet. I love these tags. I'm absolutely fascinated by this technique I developed, by the way, by myself. At first glance, it looks like nothing, but it's really, it's really uncontrollable, really a really fun technique, I would think, and with really surprising results. Andrea, bis später. Danke, dass du da warst. Tschüssikowski. And I'm not so sure, even if I'm absolutely in love with these, if I will put them into my journal or if I will do something else with them. And that is also such a thing. Why are we making these things? I mean, what is the sense? The sense is to have fun, to learn something new, to grow as an artist, blah, 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 blah. List could be very long for the reasons why we would do something like this. But I think even if something is left over, or we have pieces where we think, oh, that's a fail, we keep them, okay? Just keep them. If you are making clusters and you have 2 pieces left where you think, I don't have enough of this base paper, I can't make anything anymore, yeah, well, just do it like this, and then you would have the next incredible piece for your next collage or whatever. Page tab. Here, look, page tab. The perfect page tab. Oh, Helen, that is really great that you found the stream. Thank you so much for joining. It was relatively spontaneous. I said that already earlier. I had already part 1 of the stream, which also was pretty spontaneous. To be honest, my original plan for today was to take a day off. Didn't happen, if like as you could see. But this is really cool for me that I can do this, because it doesn't feel like work when I can sit here together with you, you know, and then I can do this here. And originally I was a light bulb. No, I didn't start 3 hours ago. I started one stream earlier. Then I was interrupted by Daniel Evans' lunchtime love songs. I mean, I decided to interrupt the stream, you know, because I didn't want to miss his live stream. And now I started the second part here, because originally I wanted to make these clusters already in the other stream, and then I found out that I don't have enough time, and then I decided to not stress myself, but instead do this second part here, if that makes sense. And now I'm really sad. Why don't I have another part of this left? On this here we could see it better. But to be honest, I like this here even better with the colors. I have a shoebox or two of tiny scrap pieces. I should keep them on my workspace so I can remember them. Yeah, I had for a very long time, I had a box where I kept all of those scrap pieces, but that box was just too far away from my workspace. It was just, you know, from here perhaps 60 centimeters away or so, but it was too far away. And now I ended up with having two drawers there, one with scraps, you know, paper scraps, and one with fabric scraps. And that is really helpful, because, you know, here I'm, in this case, this is a bad example, because here I'm using what I had laying around from the journal. But if I would make some other things, yeah, not related to this journal, and I would need scraps, I could just grab them from my new drawer there, and I have them at hand like immediately. And that is really helpful, because, you know, when you don't see the things, you probably don't use them. At least that's for me. Oh, thanks for asking. The premiere was absolutely amazing. I was really, really, really happy, and I'm still happy. Didn't end. That so many of you joined the premiere yesterday. That was a really, really nice time. For me, that's always, you know, when I finished such a thing and I'm in front of showing you something new, I'm always filled with this extreme excitement, because, you know, I can't know how you will find those things, and I will. That will always be the same thing, you know. I do something here, I prepare something, and while I'm preparing that, I mean, this making the backstage pass, this thing here, took me a couple of weeks to finish that. And the whole time, you know, I'm sitting here and thinking about, if you like that, if you want to join something like that, and, you know, I want that you like the things I make, and I want to, of course, also cover your questions and the wishes you had in the past already, and where you said, Louisa, do this or that for us, please, please, please. Of course, I want to cover with those things I do as much as I can from your requests and so on. This was a silly idea. Can I please just put this on there? And with that, it's always such an exciting thing when I'm in front of the premiere, because, you know, then I'm running around here and asking myself if you will like this or not. And you are then always so amazing. That is, I'm struggling with my words, because amazing is just not enough. Yeah, because you seem to be so thrilled with each and every paper collection I give you, and that you know, I mean, this is my job. My job is my life. My life is my job. How do you want to see that? Junk journaling is 99% of my life. Yeah, and that is not you know, I don't say that because where is my, holy cow, where is my stapler? That is not true. I have, here. It's really, you know, my job is a massive part of my life because I do junk journaling in my free time. What is that? And as my job, you know what I mean. And when you then give me such an incredible support, and also all your words and that stuff, I don't only count, you know, when I say support, I don't only count the orders I get in my shop. Yeah, of course, I need those orders to make a living. I need those orders. I need your support for my shop, obviously. Also, I'm sorry, because otherwise I couldn't do this here anymore. Yeah, if I would need to get like another job or so, then I couldn't do this anymore. So it's like a little, you know, needs to be a win-win situation for both of us. Let's say it like that. And because of that, I don't only mean the orders in my shop when I say support. I'm also talking about what you write in the chat and so on, and not only here but also during the paper premiere and, you know, everywhere. That means so much, and that makes this, yeah, this job also very easy for me, because even if I just said, and that's the truth obviously, with each and every new paper collection I have this excitement, and at the same time there's like a little bit kind of a fear or so, where I think, oh my goodness, what if they don't like that? Yeah, because that would mean that you don't like it, and that would be very sad for me, because I want to make things you like. That is the first thing. But the next thing is, obviously, if you don't like it, you won't buy it, you know, and then I would have a really big problem. This is, I know this is pretty honest, but I mean, what is this? Yeah, I mean, there are people who say, Louise, she has 24/7 time to craft, and she's such a lucky person. She has time to craft 24/7. Yeah. What are you dreaming about in the night? I don't, you know, I'm probably not talking to you right now, but there are those people. And I'm really happy that you are like you are, and that you understand the things, and that you know, understand this whole thing. And I hope that you can see that. I always try to make this into a win-win situation for both of us, for you and for me, because otherwise it would be somehow impossible. So let me read what I've missed. Yeah, Dory, it's definitely more than a job. That's obviously true. Whew! Oh my goodness. Just an ad popped up here. How can I? So sorry. Hello to Portugal. I try my best to really do this as authentic as possible. I mean, that's also why I thought it's perhaps a good idea to do a little bit more live streaming or so. Yeah, because from your feedback about the things, I also got the conclusion that that could be a nice thing. Someone, who was that? I think I read that just a couple of hours ago, that someone wrote, I'm sorry, I can't remember your name. If you are here in the chat, please let me know. I can't remember who that was. There's too many names. But someone wrote that we are here to connect with each other, obviously, yeah. That was nothing new. But this thing with live streaming, and that we can sit together and do something together, that was very important to that person. And I think it's for many of us that we want to connect with each other. And I feel, ugh, Why have I stapled in there like so and not in the other direction? Oh, Luisa. And I think it's very, very important to really try to stay authentic. Because, you know, when I record a video, and what is that? Let's say I would show you next week a video about these clusters. Then I would sit down here and I would also like talk to my camera like I do it here at the moment. But this is different because obviously you can now ask questions. I can answer directly. Compared to a pre-recorded video where I would need to record that and then, you know, later on I would edit it that it is not too long for those people who say, well, I don't have time, me, blah, blah, blah. You know, and then perhaps also funny things or these like really authentic things wouldn't be in the video anymore. Yeah, things where you need to think about what to do next. Those things where later on you then say, oh, everything looks so easy when you do that, Louisa. Yeah, I have thought about that for approximately 48 hours, but you haven't seen it because the video was edited to like 30 minutes or so. Do you know what I mean? And for that, I find this here really, really good. And I want to try, I'm sorry, I want to try to do that more often in the future because I think that is a really nice thing. And it's also, for me, relatively easy to do because, you know, when we make these little things, for me, to be honest, this is less work than I would do if I would do a regular video. And it's more fun because you can ask your questions. And I can say a very, very, very big thank you to Marianne. Thank you so much for your donation. That is really much appreciated. Thank you. I need to make some, if I do this here, is that then not so loud for you? I do think so. I want to quickly hammer these staples down a little bit so that they are not so far in the air. She sees through her grandmother's eyes. I remember her saying that story. Oh, don't make me cry. Oh my goodness, it's too late. Holy moly. Let me hammer to this, okay? I need to cry now. Holy shit. Ah. You can't write such a sentence when I just come from Daniel Evans' Lunchtime Love Songs, which was a many low Monday today, and you can't write such a sentence after that. Only the sentence would probably have brought me to tears, but oh my goodness. Ah. Yeah, my grandma was a really amazing woman, and I don't only have a ton of her buttons and also other like physical things from her in my stash, but I also have, I think, a little bit of her talent. She, don't know if you know that, you know, if you are new to my channel, that you probably don't know that, but I have some older videos where I also show you, I'm so sorry, concentration, Louisa, where I also show you things she made and where I talk about what she did and so on. She made some really incredible paintings with oil paint. So she was more like a painter than a paper crafter, but she also tried other things, and she also did you know, some pottery. Is that the word? Yeah, I think so. Pottery. This looks terrible. Oh, let me quickly read your comments. Yeah, Daisy, this what you call chaotic energy. To be honest, you are talking for the other people who don't know that or haven't seen that. She's talking about these tags I made where I smashed some ink and other mediums with these little finger sponges on the paper, and where I then got really crazy shapes from that. To be honest, that helped me through a really, really weird time of the year. If you want to hear the complete truth, in the past, I couldn't understand so well how art, which is in such a way, like, you know, done with your body, really, you know, when you smash something on, it's different than if you take this and put this in there. Yeah, this is also done with my body. I'm using my hands here. Yeah, but there are those like more, yeah, more aggressive kind of art styles, and more, you know, some people put paint on their body and then they jump to a canvas or so. Yeah? Do you know what I mean? Something like that. I couldn't understand that so well in the past. And to be honest, I can't understand what I'm doing here. This looks absolutely weird. I don't want to have this here. But since I did these tags with this smashing technique, and also the Poppyfield Avenue journal, where we did a lot of that in different ways, I see that with totally different eyes, because those techniques have helped me through a really weird situation and in a really weird stage of my life. I had some weeks where now I need to concentrate that I don't cry again, where I really questioned some things, and I also questioned some friendships, some long friendships. And to be honest, those stories didn't end so well. And I don't know if you know this feeling, if you know someone and you have the feeling you did everything you could, but it just wasn't enough, obviously, to make that person want to stay in your life. Don't get me wrong. No one should do anything or feel the need to do something to make someone stay in your life. Yeah, the person should stay because the person wants to stay. I have problems to say that in English, as you can probably tell right now. But if you have a long friendship with someone and then something happens, then you obviously try to keep what you have. That is more what I'm trying to say here with my weird English. I'm so sorry. And when you then find out that you can do whatever you want, and it's just not helping to keep this, then that is really, really hard. And I had some experiences with different people, unfortunately. And these techniques with the Poppyfield Avenue journal and with smashing these things, that really helped me to somehow come over this and to realize that it's not my fault what happened there, because I did everything I could, and to realize that and to find that out for myself was really important, and these little aggressive techniques really helped me with that. Sounds a little bit weird, but it is what it is. What is more authentic than speaking English with a German accent? Yeah. It's great to see you engaged in the creative process on the HEINZL TV and on this live. Thank you so much. I'm just trying to read everything here. Thank you so much for your wonderful words. It's just so amazing to read that. This is so special because, you know, my situation, as I said, it's just similar to if I would record a regular video, but it's obviously way more relaxed. And when I can see that you are sitting there as well, it's like, you know, we are all in the same, like, I want to say video chat, you know, even if I can't see you, I know that you are there, and that is just so, so amazing. Thank you so much. Oh, Desiree. Hi. Yeah, Helen, I think it's really important that we also, if we have the luck that we have, I should read the comment first, sorry, otherwise you can't see what I'm meaning. Helen has written, I love how you showcase her paint, so loving. And she's talking about the paint from my grandma. I have some tubes of paint and other things like paintbrushes, buttons, and little also necklaces she made from Fimo clay. She made her own little beads and then made necklaces from that. And I find it really, really important that we treasure those things. And, you know, it's so weird. Sometimes this chat is drifting in a really crazy direction. I haven't expected, but well, it is what it is. That's totally fine. When we have like things from people, yeah, people who passed away, or even people who have been in our lives and then they, for example, let's say they moved away or whatever, yeah, they are not here anymore for whatever reason. And then we have those things. There are many people who say, yeah, well, the memories are not connected to those items. And, you know, then regarding my paint tubes and beads and buttons, they would say, yeah, you know, you could part with those things because the memory is not connected to those pieces. And that is obviously also like, there's a little bit of truth for me in that sentence. But when it comes to art supplies we have from people who are not here anymore, I think that's a totally different thing. And for me, it's so nice to have the things from her. And also like more, you know, things she crafted herself. You know, a paint tube is a paint tube, but a thing she crafted is obviously on a different level, isn't it? And I'm so happy that I have those things and that I can display them here in my apartment, because that makes her being here with me. And that also makes that my grandpa is also here with me, even if there are not so many things from him in my apartment. But because of his appreciation for her art, he is here as well. And oh, Luisa, don't cry. Just don't cry. Ah! I need to do something aggressive, otherwise I will cry again. Oh my goodness. These things are really great to include here, but I can't find a good place for these. On this one, it's really hard. Where the heck will the focal point, if there would be one, go here? I have the feeling I will need some butterflies in a second. Oh. Someone was asking about the hammer. Yeah, that is the, where is it now? That is the texture hammer by Ideology. Where have I put it? Why the heck are my things disappearing? That is, it's so weird. I just had it here. Where is it now? Is it somewhere here? No. Where is the hammer? It's called Ideology Texture Hammer. Did I put it back into the drawer? Yes. And it's really handy. Before this came out, I had a regular hammer, you know, just from the, you know, where you store your other tools and so on, just a regular hammer. But this one is really cool because it's relatively, well, it can, you know, do the thing. Yeah, it's a real tool and not just, you know, it's not like for children or so. It's really relatively heavy, but lighter than a regular hammer, obviously. It's small. You can store it everywhere. And, you know, really cool because, and here it has this flat side here, if you want to, for example, hammer the staples down, and it has this thing here. You can use this for giving yourself a massage, or you can also, obviously not. Wait, you can try it, but it's probably not so comfortable. But this makes really, can I show you that somewhere? This makes really cool texture if you hammer that to something. Let's see. Oh, there just was another donation. Thank you so much. I think I missed it. Thank you so much. That is, now somehow it has disappeared, but that doesn't mean that I don't appreciate it. Thank you. And someone, I can't find that comment anymore. The glass mat, you can do this. Tim did it in his live streams as well. At first I was like, oh my goodness, what are you doing there? Because when I use a hammer, I guess it's a little bit more aggressive than if he does it. So, you know, when I first used this, I tried to avoid to hammer to the glass mat, but you know, you could just see it for staples or so. It's not such a problem. It will not break. And also for this side here, we can do it on here. It would be so hilarious if now the glass mat would break live on camera. But I'm just doing what Tim said, okay? Yeah, well, but it's not so visible here. It's probably the wrong material, but I don't have anything else at hand. Can you see? It leaves these little marks. It's a little bit confusing because the corrugated cardboard has also these little lines, but can you see that it makes this little texture? And then you can, if I perhaps do it like so, then we, or perhaps on this edge, let me try it on this edge here. The glass mat is even a little bit hard. I will quickly do it on the table. So all of the neighbors are awake now. It leaves this cool texture, and then you can do whatever you want with that. You can put some medium over here so that you can then see the texture better. It's really, I'm so sorry if Tim is watching by coincidence. I'm so sorry, Tim. This is really the baddest example you could ever get for the texture hammer. I'm so sorry, but it leaves these cool marks. And then you have a really cool texture. Can I show you that perhaps somewhere else? Let me try to take a regular piece of paper. It works better when it's a little, you know, thicker material. I will now not cry again, okay? Don't make me cry again. Let me quickly do this here next to the thing. The glass mat. The hammer works on the glass mat, but at the same time, it is relatively hard, isn't it? And if I take the paper, now I've folded this so that it's a little more squishy. And when I now put it to my table, which is made from wood, these marks will get more, way more visible. So here we go. While you are looking at this, I will take a look at the comments. Yeah, Daisy, I totally agree. That is so true. And I totally get if you don't want to hammer with this thing on your glass mat, then just do it on the table or, you know, somewhere else. But I find this hammer really, really cool. And when you then take this and put something over there, for example, with a crane or so, do I have something here? Give me a second. I will quickly... Oh, we can also take an ink pad. Let's take an oxide ink pad or something. You could now go over this with whatever you want and then bring out the texture a little bit more. Someone is in the room. Hi, Dan. That is really cool. We are, it seems that we are hopping from one stream to the other today. And thank you so much for the donation. We were here before you were live, and then I said I need to go, and then, you know, I interrupted this, or myself, or how can I say that? And now I'm back. But I now today officially missed some minutes of your stream, and I don't know how I shall survive this day with that information, but it is what it is. So here we go. Then we have, for example, something like this. And you could also go over this with crayon or whatever you like to bring the texture out, or color this first and then hammer into that. I mean, it's unnecessary that I now say hello to Daniel because you already are doing that. You find that relaxing even with the hammering. I can hammer even more if you want. Shall we? I mean, this is a little bit off topic, but that seems to be interesting. I have the feeling some of you are interested in that. Where's my ink pad now? You can, of course, also do it the other way around. I mean, there are many more techniques you could do with this. I can understand you even with typos. Yeah, this is really live, Dan. Yeah. So let's look at this. This is now blue, obviously, because we've added the ink first, and then we can obviously also do the same thing. I will quickly do that, not here, but on the table again. I think you can't see that now anymore because I'm out of frame. Maybe hammering is the start of a new song with you and Daniel. Yeah, Dan, perhaps you want to make a screen recording? Just in case we would need this for a next song. So then this is obviously different. Yeah, so this is what this is what we did before, hammering first, then the ink, and this is the opposite thing. Depending on which effect you want, you know, both variations could be great. And this also doesn't have to be the end, obviously. Shall we really do a song about hammering? I mean, I already got some really weird ideas yesterday evening about a new song. My landlord was here, and the most of you know that he also makes music. And for some reason, his new song has given me some really weird things. Now my alarm is telling me something that's not so great. He played his new song to me, and I was like, oh, I'm getting ideas for a new thing, which was really weird because his new song is about, can I say that? Yeah, he talked about that in his own streams as well already. His new song is about a really huge, I would say, a really huge love story that never ends or so. Perhaps that's a good sentence to describe it. And when he was playing that to me, in my brain there were really weird things which had nothing to do with the song. But yeah. Perhaps we can include the hammering. Why not? So obviously you can also, and now I'm freaking my freak because my ink pad got another color on here. That's not such a problem because we can take this, you can see the blue is on here now, and just take a cloth and clean this, but normally I try to avoid that. Break out the splatter box too. Hammering and splattering. Oh, bye-bye, Lisa. have a great rest of your day, and thank you so much that you always follow me wherever I go. Maybe that also works with a Schnitzelklopfer. That definitely works with a Schnitzelklopfer as well. Is that an English word? Is Schnitzelklopfer really an English word? No, it isn't. It can't be an English word. Now I really need to think about that. But if we hammer and splatter and have those sounds in the song, we also need this here in the song. So now this looks like so. Shall we? Oh my goodness. You crack me up. Shall we call that song Schnitzelklopfer? If I'm not mistaken, there is a German song which is, how is that called? Is it even called Schnitzelklopfer? What is a Schnitzelklopfer? So, you know, a schnitzel is a schnitzel. I think that is understandable in English, isn't it? Like a piece of meat. And before you throw the meat into hot oil, you hammer it with something which is pretty similar to this, but way bigger. Yeah, so there's something like a kitchen tool. Approximately, I would say this size, like so, and this part is also way heavier. And then you take that and you hammer that to the meat so that the meat can relax. And then, you know, you throw it into egg and flour and these little bread crumbles. And then you know, nearly like fry it. In most restaurants, I would say they fry it instead of putting it into a pan. It's the title. But what it is it for making the meat tender for schnitzel? Yeah. Ah, that is the word. Thanks, Dan. That is the word. It makes the meat tender for schnitzel. That is the word. Yeah, somehow I have the feeling that I want a schnitzel too now. I haven't had schnitzel for ages. Oh my goodness. I think the last schnitzel I had was when I was in Austria. No, a schnitzel is not like a hot dog. Wait, give me a second. I will quickly search a photo on YouTube. On Google. Yeah, Louise. Search for a photo on YouTube. Oh my goodness, my brain. So here we go. Dan, close your eyes now. This is too much. Oh no. Why is that? Oh no. What happened here? Oh no. Oh no, could you see it? Oh no, my battery died. Could you see it? I'm so sorry. So it's not like a hot dog, but it's like a flat piece of meat. Hopefully that makes sense. So what shall we do with this now? This is absolutely in the wrong colors. Schnitzelklopfer, the new junk journal song. That also probably means we need, oh my goodness, that would mean we need a paper collection which is called Schnitzelklopfer as well. I'm afraid. I'm really afraid. Since I made this example, I think this will not fit into my thing here anymore. I'm thinking about this really neutral page I have here. Oh, give me a second. This is absolutely unacceptable. Kartoffelsalat. Schnitzelklopfer and Kartoffelsalat. But this is unacceptable color-wise. And that is because I just wanted to make an example for the hammer, but not really, you know, I was not really thinking about the colors I used for the journal. Add fossilized amber. Seriously? Fossilized amber on this would make, yeah, well, more? Give me a second. Then I also have the possibility to laugh a little bit here in the background. That is just so funny. It's just too funny. Let's see if we can somehow turn this into a piece which would match the color palette. Spray stain. Why did I take that? Makes no sense. Well, but if I use this, let's try something. Let's use a little bit of this. This is fossilized amber oxide spray. And let's see if I add some water, gets a little bit mixed with the rest and then turns green. Well, I don't think so. Let's dry this. It's not from chicken, it's from pork, Mrs. Hamsti. Yes, and sometimes if you have really big luck, in Austria, you know, at the campsite where I was living there was a restaurant, and I knew the owner of the restaurant pretty well, and he, if he had chicken available, he made a schnitzel from chicken for me. That was really nice, because I like that better than pork. Well, I think we will save this piece for the Schnitzelklopfer journal, because it will definitely not work with the colors I have here. It would work with these colors here, but that is also a little like stupid coincidence. I had this here by coincidence, because I tried something and I got this paper, like, you know, a little like collage fodder paper, and I thought if I add green then it could work, but with this it's absolutely terrible. I will put this aside and use that for something else. And that is probably also something we can learn, you know, if we talk about something in between, like for example the thing with the hammer could happen to yourself as well at your own craft desk, that you think, I want to know more about this or that tool, and then you distract yourself perhaps a little bit by thinking about the other things or trying something out, and then you don't think about the colors anymore, you know. It just happened here. But I don't find that so extremely bad or so, or it's not really distracting me, because I can still go on with this and have the other thing in mind. Does that make sense? And I already learned something, obviously, and if it's only that these colors don't fit. Let's perhaps glue this on here. I think I want to add some either butterflies or moths on this, even if the journal is cat themed. What do we think about that? Do we find that weird, or what do we think about that? Oh, that's true. The real schnitzel is from Kalb, like a young cow. That is absolutely correct. What are these in your hand right now, Verena? Are you talking about these? These are like flower stamens. You can find them on Amazon, for example. Just type flower stamens and then you find these in different colors and different sizes. These are, someone asked me about the size the other day. These are like the medium size. I think there are way bigger ones available on Amazon, and also these very tiny ones. Let me see if I have some of these in here. I accidentally, here, look. Can you see the difference in size? I accidentally bought these because I didn't look close enough to the picture. Very stupid. And they look a little bit weird, I think. These are like somehow like seeds or so. And these, I find these these are more like chubby somehow and a little bit more, they have more cozy vibes somehow. And for butterflies or so, or moths, I like these even better than these. But yeah, well, we will use these up as well now for some projects. Oh, could you please stop talking about food? The big ones look like Q-tips. Yeah, they definitely look a little bit like Q-tips, but they are way smaller than Q-tips. Perhaps I can put them here to my finger so that you can see the size approximately. If you get desperate, you can use coated wire and dip the ends in acrylic paint. That is a really good idea. How would you then let that dry? How do you do that? Do you hang them like overhead, or how do you do that the paint can dry then there? I mean, you can't sit with these things and wait until the paint is dry, right? Could you please just give me an answer to my question? Shall we add some butterflies here, or shall we add some cats, or what do we add here now? Can you color the stamens with inks? Ah, now I got it. I would not use ink because that will wait. It depends. Please take a look at the material. Let me try to get more to this end here so that you can see that better. Some of these are a little bit like coated paper. These, the white ones, it feels a little bit like the surface of these sugary candies, where, do you know these bracelets? And there's even, you know, for fun, like underwear available made from these round tiny candies, and there are bracelets which you then can eat. Do you know what I mean? And the surface of that, like a Mentos, I think that is something, you know, isn't it? The surface is a little bit like a Mentos, and it's like, it would take the ink, but I think it would take forever to dry. That's why I would not use ink here, even if it could work. These can't work with ink. Can you see how glossy they are? These are really, really, really like plastic, slippery, glossy, and ink or oxide ink would never dry on this. You could try archival ink, obviously. That could work, but if I would try to color these, I would use alcohol ink. Obviously not on the black, because that wouldn't show up. But if you would buy only white, wow, you bring me to a really cool idea. Oh my goodness. I always bought these in many different colors. I didn't even think about staining them with alcohol ink, but why not? That could work. I mean, it will work, staining them with alcohol ink. Tape them to something to hang to dry. Oh, that is very intelligent. That sounds, but that sounds like you would need really fancy skills to do that. But that's obviously an alternative, to take some wire and dip the ends in acrylic paint. Or you can do one end and stick the foam. Oh, stick into foam. Yeah, that is also a great idea. So there's one vote for cats. No vote for butterflies. Okie dokie. I don't know how I want that there. I think somehow I have the feeling there are those items like these things here, for example, where you think they work on every piece, no matter what you have. Like, you know, butterflies solve every problem. These are like, they work on every piece. They seem to work on every piece. And then when you try it out, you find out that that's just not the case. Because I would need something to put over there, and that looks absolutely terrible here. Perhaps we can put these here. Cats, 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 cats. Okay. Just thinking if we can give the cats some wings. Are you already bored by people, other animals, things with butterfly wings, or is that still a thing? Because that is also such a discussion, isn't it? There are many people who say, well, you can't put wings on paper dolls anymore. It's just not a thing anymore. You can't do that. Besides the fact that I can do whatever I want, I want to know how you think about that. Still a thing. Okay. Who are these peoples and their peoples? Who are these people and their rules? I totally agree. I don't see a problem with that. I think the wings on all kinds of things is so cool. I put layered stars. Oh, layered stars. That sounds very cool. I'm not a big fan, but they are growing on me. Wings in a tree. I love the paper dolls with wings. It's very interesting to read that, because sometimes I have the feeling people think, well, it's too much, or it's not a new idea anymore, blah, blah, blah. But you know what? I'm thinking, why shouldn't we do things we like over and over again? I mean, you know, because only because it's already has been done. Why can't we do it again? And why can't we just enjoy it? And like someone just has written, Dory was that, I think, who are those people? Yeah, exactly. So that means we want to put some cats on here, right? That also means I quickly need to run away to see if I have the cats from the printable in the right size, because originally I was thinking I just want to throw my scraps on here, but that will not take long. I can just print one of the pages. And what I also need to do is I need to quickly make like 3 minutes break or so, because I need to go to the toilet very quickly to my mushroom. And I think I need something like this to survive the rest of the day here. So if you perhaps also want to grab something to drink, or, you know, if you want to run to the toilet, please do that now. We have rules here, you know, you can't do that later, you need to do that now. So I will be back in approximately 3 minutes, okay? Perhaps you can also already discuss if wings plus cats or only cats. That would be very helpful. And then someone needs to make a little, you know, summary of that so that I can read that when I'm back. See you in 3 minutes. Hallelujah. Thank you so much, dear printer, to give me this paper. Unbelievable. I'm almost there. Oh, you are still here. That is so cool. I am so sorry. Holy moly guacamole. Several tries to get my printer to print this in this size. Oh, my printer has some problems with a little thing which collects some of the ink which comes out from somewhere, I don't know, while it's printing. And this thing has to be exchanged, and only the support team by Epson can do that, obviously. And that is why I can't print borderless anymore. And obviously also not 2 pages on one sheet without swearing at the printer. So, what is the conclusion here? Let me read. Give the cats some wings. Butterflies, birds, and cats are always a good idea. I think I've never put wings on cats. That's probably because this is my first cat-themed printable. Oh, ihr bleibt alle da. Das finde ich sehr nett. Manchmal, wisst ihr, die Sachen, die reingehen, müssen auch wieder raus irgendwann. Und man Pipi muss mal kurz Pipi. You heard my problem. Is it the waste ink pad a printer shop can repair it for you? Yeah, it's exactly. I think that is the word. I bought this little thing, this replacement, how did you call that? Waste ink pad on Amazon. I had that problem a while ago already, and I could replace it by my own, but somehow I have the feeling that I perhaps did something wrong or so, because it's not so long ago that I did that. Yeah, and I think I even saw that video you are mentioning there, this YouTube video where they show you how to do that without going sending it to Epson. And I did that. I did this. I think we are talking about the same video. I saw that video and I did it exactly like like they told me there. But that is like, I think it is like 3 months ago or so. And I was wondering that the printer already told me to do it again. So I'm a little bit scared about that, because that is a little bit weird. And I mean, I can still print with border, but yeah, you know, that is nerve-wracking, because if you want to print a whole page, like the journal background or whatever, then that can be relatively nerve-wracking when you then have to cut everything off here. I mean, why do I have a printer which can print borderless? Has a reason. So I printed these, you know, 2 of the full A4 sheets to 1 A4 sheet, which gives me this smaller scale. See if you can get an OEM part. Okay. I don't know exactly what that means, but I will try to do that. I'm thinking, can we perhaps somehow, just got an idea, can we perhaps somehow tear these so that we don't have to fuzzy cut them all around this, but just tear this, because then it would also fit well to the style of the cluster. Did you put in a reset code also when you replace the pattern? That is a thing. When I watched this YouTube video about this replacing this piece, they told me how to do it without this code. And I know from my friend Elise Klatschmon that she had the same problem, and there was this thing with the code as well. Her printer showed that as well. And then she also did that without, I think she also did that with, or did she buy a new printer? How did she do that? I can't remember, but she told me about the problem with the code. And I was really scared, because, you know, I sell digital paper and I need my printer every single day. Not only for that, but also for other things. And I was a little bit scared. But then I was glad that it worked, you know, with this replacement without the need of having this code. But I'm afraid that I did something wrong. And that's probably why it is already showing this message again, this error message. So I've just torn around here. And then I've cut in here so that these torn pieces are still there, but that the cat itself is fuzzy cut. But this is still here. I'm thinking one of the cats needs to be chasing a chameleon. You are giving me some really great ideas. Let me see, where did I put my butterflies? I still haven't put labels to my little storage containers here, but I'm hoping to find my butterflies in the next couple of seconds. Here we go. This could become a challenge. I think we need some red or some orange to make it match the rest. Oh, I like this. Is this too big? Too big. Is this too small? That looks absolutely weird. This is too small. Don't disappoint me, you butterflies. Butterflies solve every problem, they said. somehow this looks absolutely weird. I think I need to cut it in half so that we can vary the angle of this. This looks, why does this look so weird? It is, I think that is because the cat is so fat. And the shape cat with a ball of yarn, it's unrolled, maybe toilet paper the cat gets into and makes a mess. Oh my goodness. Toilet paper. Too matchy to the head. That might be another problem. And I'm thinking it needs to be at least this size, but not this color. Even if I first thought it could be good to have it like in the orange. But it's somehow weird. I don't have any blue in the journal. I have started to cut out some of my butterflies from my shop, and this is obviously all from the same set. I have one set which has relatively relatively crazy colors, very you know, colorful, and the other set is more neutrals. And obviously this is not the neutral set. That makes it a little bit hard. I still need to cut the others out. This would also work. Is it weird to have two different ones? This is a little bit smaller, but who cares? Oh, I like this. This is so irregular. That is absolutely cool. I want to have that there. Could be a little bit too big for those clusters, but let's see. We will glue that down. You don't find that weird, Mary? That is good, because I also don't find it weird. Sometimes I think we should do more the opposite things of what other people do. You know? Or, well, not the, that is a little bit mean. Not necessarily the opposite of what other people do, but perhaps the opposite of what would be logical at first glance. Then we probably get the better results, meaning the more interesting results. And who says that we can't even do it like so? Because then we would see more of this background there. I could even imagine, I think, now the glue is already there, but this, I can't bring it far enough into there, but this would also be really cute. This is somehow a whole new idea, because originally I thought I want to take them and put them to the clusters as a focal point, but this could be a cluster by itself. But not for this one. So let's see. Is this too big now? We can extend that here perhaps a little bit, so that we don't cover up too much of what we already made. I think this is pretty cool. This is a little bit weird. I would love if the numbers could be somehow in a 90-degree angle to this. Let's see. Let's first glue this down. Trying to line this up here because I find these numbers here, they need somehow to go in a 90-degree angle. Otherwise, this would be too busy for me with these angles, because this wing is also, you know, a little bit more like so. This is a little bit more like so compared to what I would expect when I would glue them there. I don't know if that makes sense, because, you know, if it was like a butterfly cat, then the wings would be perhaps like so here in the same angle, like they are on the original butterfly. Does that make sense? And with this, it's already a little bit like so. And if then these numbers would also be not straight and not a 90-degree angle, that would be really weird for my eye, I think. So what do we think about this? Somehow here could be something. What do we think about a little bit of fluff, or even an eyelet here? He needs a thought bubble. Oh yes, that could be a really cool thing to, but I would add that, I think, preferably later, when I found the place where this will then go, because then you could also, you know, when you put that to a page, you could put the thought bubble then also somehow here or like so, and then, you know, it would be like on the page as well. But please do whatever you like and whatever you want to do. Oh, my eye. Gottes Willen, das geht ja mal gar nicht. Do I have a neutral piece of this fabric? This is, these are some leftovers from the fabric I used for making hinges between some of the pages in the journal, and that is better. I'm thinking I somehow want, these are the wrong scissors, a little piece here to strengthen the paper there a little bit. And I quickly need to take a look at my phone here. Why don't I see how much battery I have left? That is not so nice. But then again, this color needs to go to the back, please. Just like this. This is, if I want to, my problem is at the moment, if I want to place the eyelet here, I don't want the eyelet to be too close to her nose. So that is a little bit weird. So I would love to have it here, but that would mean I have not enough paper material there to punch in. So I will do a little operation and just take, well, a little bit more, little piece of paper. The glasses make me picture a pipe-smoking cat come to mind. Yeah, it would look really cool if he had something here. like a pipe or so. That would be really a good idea. It not only would be a really good idea, it is a really good idea. But where to get a pipe? I mean, we could draw one, obviously. Yeah, a button. I also thought about perhaps sewing some buttons on. Let's see where this will lead us. So what I did is I just backed the fabric with a little piece of paper. So from this side here, you can't see anymore that the paper is there, but that has the advantage that when I now put this here, I can set my eyelet wherever I want, and I'm not determined to this little area there. Just like this. Then it looks also like, I mean, the sense of this is to make it look like a little tab and include another material. But the main advantage is that we can take this, and if we are able to open this, we can set the eyelet wherever we want. Perhaps even centered, like so. Oh my goodness, I can't read and put this in here at the same time. Yeah, a fishtail hanging out the side of his mouth. That would be so cute. What about wire cat toys? You're bringing me to a really great idea. It's so good that I did this here today. Sometimes you need to be proud about yourself. But because, you know, when I can read what you are suggesting there, that obviously gives me a lot of new thoughts for the upcoming videos, because we will still have some videos to come, you know. Everything else would make absolutely no sense. And I want to show you some ideas you can do in a finished journal with my upcoming videos. And to read what you are writing there right now is really cool, because then I can include that somehow into my thoughts as well, because those videos are not recorded yet. So that I still have the chance to somehow bring that into my schedule, and with that into those videos. Fish skeletons hang on a bulb pin in the eyelet. Do I have? Yes, I do. Give me a second. I have these die cuts here. And this, doesn't this somehow remind to a fish skeleton? I mean, if we know what we want to show with this, then everything would work. Yeah, if I think, oh, I don't have this, but I have this, I mean, that would be weird, because these die cuts come from the same set. Yeah, but if you would have something like this, and you would think, oh, if I take these and just use these as a fish skeleton, because my brain can give me the connection, and this for me is the fish skeleton, then it doesn't necessarily need to look like a fish skeleton to me, but it's just the idea I got. And, you know, an additional little detail I have there, which then makes the whole thing just perfect. But I find this is even cooler. But how to make this a little more sturdy? We could, oh my goodness, this drives now into a really crazy direction, but that is cool. I wasn't expecting something like this, but let's see. Give me a neutral portion of this paper. Give me my glue. I just took this little piece. It's just, you know, the end of this die cut thing. Yeah, Dory, that is exactly what I want to do. And if we want to make it into a dangle, can two pieces glued together? Yeah, that also would be possible, but it would be a little bit, I mean, I'm just thinking, we don't want that it is flimsy, right? I mean, if we want to let it hang down there, we would need to think about this very clever. Now, first, I need a pencil, I think. And we could perhaps emboss it. The cat has already eaten the rest. Just bones left. Exactly. Okay, so then I guess here's the tail. Oh my goodness. That's the weirdest fish I've ever seen. I mean, I know if it just would be the skeleton of the fish, this is somehow weird. If I now you know, make this into a fish shape and cut that out, that is absolutely weird, isn't it? Because the fish is already gone. We only have the skeleton left. And yes, I also thought about glossy accents already, but the problem is we could not finish that within the live because glossy accents would need forever to dry. I hate this. This is absolutely unacceptable. Unacceptable. That's my new favorite English word. Where is my... I am searching for my eraser. Here we go. I think we will turn this into a little tag instead of a fish shape. The skeleton just needs a background, I think, where we can see it well. And with this neutral paper, we already have that. And I will now just, you know, turn that into a little tag instead of trying to get a fish shape from that. Oh, Jen, thank you so much. Seriously, Purple Fish Studio. Seriously? I mean, what? How cool is that? I mean, what a cool name. I mean, we are making a fish thing here, and your username is Purple Fish Studio? What? Oh my goodness. Why is this so weird here? Thank you so much for your donation. That is just, it's really funny, but also much appreciated, obviously. Thank you. How big? Well, that really doesn't matter because we don't know how that will be in there later. I want it not too small and not too big. Perhaps like this. Wait a bit. Give me ink. Yeah, that's true. We already have a cat with wings and glasses. How weird could it become? I should think about really weird things. You know, even more ideas like this. I think that could be really, really much fun to find some pieces we could add. I mean, this little thing could also be something we could include in a collage or so, yeah, in the journal. Would also make a lot of sense, I would think. I mean, I think I would even like it better, perhaps not necessarily on this one, but if it was somehow like so, perhaps with another little thing or so, but I'm not so sure if I like it on here, instead of having it hanging here. Because when it hangs here, it's nice, yes, but it also looks a little bit like it was, yeah, well, perhaps she has thrown it away a second ago, and that's why it's so far down. But it also has some technical reasons where I think I would love to include it somehow like so, instead of letting it hang here, because then it's easier to attach. You know? Let's make perhaps a second one. Perhaps we could even turn this strip into multiple tags. Perhaps we need some more for the other clusters. Yeah, still needs a tail. That is so true. I'm thinking if I perhaps have some books or so, but I would need to do a little research first. Some books with fish images, which I could cut out. I mean, that would then be something for either another live stream or one of the other videos, because I would need to first figure out the size of the, check the size of the images and find the books and so on. I can't do that spontaneously here now, but that could be something, where we could cut some pieces out from books or so and then include them here. I also have a printable with fish, but I think those don't fit so well to this, and I don't like this. But no one says that we need to attach this here. Where is my fluff? Let's just, where's this rest of the fluff I had? Oh, well, let's take a piece of this. This is even perhaps better because it's a little more neutral. I think I just want to have this in the eyelet, and then we can use the tag on one of the other clusters. This doesn't speak. The combination here doesn't speak to me. So I think, oh no, what happened here now? This is so hard to see. Unbelievable. Because these little things are everywhere, and then you can't really see where this loop is. Mm. It's not 100% in the correct position. I need to take it out again. I'm so sorry. I mean, I could just make a knot. Well, perhaps I will do that. But I thought I could, you know, do that like we do it with tags and so on with a ribbon or so. But somehow this is very short, and oh, now I have it. To get both of these through here, it's really hard. But this looks way better because then we can also see still a little bit of the eyelet, and I find that more interesting than, you know, if we would just see the rest. Lisa is again in the house. You have a fish in one of the December series, spell check, you know, spell check corrected December. Do you mean December? A fish in one of the December series. A fish? Is there a fish? My brain is, you know. I will staple in here just because I have staples here as well, and then that fits really well, and it helps that this is not so thick and not so bulky, and I think this is really cute. Let's perhaps quickly add some splitters so that that can then already dry somewhere. Let's see. Ja, ganz toll. Das ist ja wirklich ganz toll. My water is red. My paintbrushes are also red. I forgot to exchange that. So let's try it with this brush. Hopefully that will work. It was a freebie. Fish. Ah! Ah, yeah. Now I remember. I think now I remember what you mean. My goodness. Sometimes I'm really wondering. I want more splitters. Why do I add so many splitters here? Because I think it's really is like, you know, it's a little bit more like snow or so. Sometimes I'm really wondering how I am able to do this job because, you know, sometimes you need to remember things. I mean, names of colors, names of products, names of printables, and so on. And then I have the feeling my brain is losing so much information that I can't even remember which fish you mean. That is like really a miracle how I can do this job every single day. But once, you know, since you've downloaded it, that's a really good proof for that it exists. So then let's find a place for this. What is going on there in front of my door? I have absolutely no idea. Just trying to decide if we perhaps can even combine this. Let's first perhaps find, well, but